Hey folks, Luke here from GeoFolks. So you've probably heard about DeepSeek and all AI crazy goodness that's happening. So I'm coming in hot and I'm asking questions about the aliens. So I'm going to dive straight in and say, can you give me some real data, some real CSV data with latitude and longitude about UAP, formerly known as UFO sightings? My goal with this data is to bring it into ArcGIS Pro and do some simple spatial analysis with it, spatial analysis on it to see how many sightings were in each state based on this database. So that's what we're ultimately going for here. And I decided to ask this question to DeepSeek to see what it throws me back. So once I have that typed in, I can press enter. Then it'll start working its magic. Ultimately, it spit me out a bunch of different websites. So I went deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, Twilight Zone style. And then I came out on the Kaggle data set, which is number 3 in the list. I did, however, though, like how it spit out this table that gave me an example of what the CSV or the database I was looking for could potentially have. So on the Kaggle site, they made it super easy for me to kind of read through the page and kind of see the data source that I was looking for, and then I just download a CSV file, which I'll use for the analysis. So back to DeepSeek. Now it's time for us to develop the Python script. So what I told it is essentially I need a Python script that will bring in some CSV data, make that data into a feature class of points, and then join the points to each state so I know how many sightings have been from this database in each state, and give me a script that can do this. So once I type that in, I just press enter. And after all of the job stealing magic is done, I can just copy the script by clicking copy there, and then go back into ArcGIS Pro, go to the analysis tab, click on a new Python notebook by clicking that drop-down arrow and selecting Python notebook. Then once our notebook is loaded, we can just Control V or just paste the code we just copied into the cell. So I want to rename this and not just have it be new notebook. So I'll exit out here. I'll go to a catalog pane. Then I'll go to notebooks. I'll right click on that. And then I'll go to rename. And then I'll just give it a more fitting name. Helps you keep track of your different notebooks, so you have to come back to them after some time has passed. So once I've renamed that, I'll double click it to open back up. Then I'll go from there. But I will give a full disclaimer that I did have to do a good bit of debugging and going through this and just figuring out what works and what doesn't work. But all that to be said, that is much quicker using DeepSeek or an AI companion, something like ChatGPT, to generate a script this long, instead of trying to do it from scratch. So I do acknowledge that I did have to put some work in to figure this out, but also at the same time, it was very helpful. So I do recommend at least knowing that this tool is out there. So we'll go through chunk by chunk and see what we got. So first we imported ArcPy, then we imported OS, the operating system module. And we set the workspace using these raw paths. So wherever your data is or wherever you want to be working, you can set that. So here we define what that CSV file was. Initially, I was having trouble using an actual CSV, and so I changed it to an XLSX file, the default Excel file, and then I used this backslash here to denote the specific sheet with the $sign at the end of it to denote the sheet that we're going to be pulling the data on within the workbook. But I kept the CSV file variable name the same because it's used through the code, so I didn't want to change that. We denoted an output feature class using the workspace that we defined up here, and then we gave it a name, points from CSV. And then we defined the states layer. We gave it the path to the state shape file that we'd be using for the join. Okay, so then we set the ArcPy environments workspace to the workspace we defined up top. We allowed it to overwrite. And then we also made a couple of check ifs to see if the CSV file and then the states layer exists. I do like the error codes that this DeepSeek spit out, because that helps you to debug your code, because you get those displaying if you're missing something. Step 1 is where we converted the CSV file into points. So first we gave it the end table, which is the CSV file we downloaded. We gave it the out feature class, which is what we defined above, and that's what the points will go to. And then we can define our X and our Y fields, so longitude and latitude. And you want to make sure the longitude and latitude match the name in the actual columns of the CSV. And you can choose your coordinate system here. Step 2 is where we actually did the join. So we used the target features as a state layers. The join features became the feature class we just made in the points. And then the out feature will be the output of that join. The join operation will be join 1-on-1, join type, keep all, and the match option will be contained. So we'll get the points that are in each state. So step 3, we will actually add a field in which we will sum these points. And then in step 4, we actually use an update cursor, which is a very handy tool in which we will then sum the points and store them in the field that we just created. So what we have here is we are going to use the output join feature class. We'll take the points and we'll transfer what's in the join count field into the point C field that we just created. And then step 5 will allow us to create a search cursor in which we're going to loop through. We're going to take the name of each state and then we're going to return that point C, which is the summation of all the points that join within each state. And so we'll get a quick analysis of how many points are in each state for each state, just printed here within the Python notebook. So if we go to the top and run it by clicking this sort of play button up here, then we can see it start to work its magic, run through, importing the CSV, and start to print some analysis of the sightings per state. So now not only do I have this printout here, but I also have the feature classes to the left in the contents pane and what I can explore from here. So just a quick way to use some Python to devise a script to help with a little bit of early in analysis. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content.